Okay, guys, based on the voting that we take just now, so our weekly Zoom meeting, live Zoom meeting, will be carried on every week from 4 to 7, except the midterm and the quiz 2 week. We will back to regular timing. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So every weekly meeting will be from 4 to 7, except 2 weeks, which are the midterm week, because after the midterm we have a class, and after on the week of a quiz 2. So quiz 2 and midterm will back to 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Okay, guys. So some students, they forget to submit their quiz on time at 6:59. So the system normally, how it's going, the OWL normally will save every single letter you did and will submit in your behalf at the midnight. If there is any problem, I can contact our team and they can provide me with your answer. So no action is required from your side. So this is the first point. We are done with it, which is the class timing. It will be 4 to 7 p.m. as of next week. I will send an announcement on this. The second thing, the quiz, we talk about it, that no action is required from those 5 students who did not submit on time. OWL will take care of this. The next thing, there are still 1 student who did not put his name as individual or as a part of a group in the group project. I'll send also announcement on this. Tomorrow will be the last chance to add his name, or today till tomorrow 7 p.m. If he did not add his name, he loses the 30% of the group project mark. I don't know who's the student. I have 56 students on the Google Drive sheet, and based on the class list, sorry, based on the class list, I have 57 students. However, today 56 students who submitted or attend the quiz. So it seems he dropped the course, or what is wrong with that student, I'm not sure. But thank you all for those who put their names there. There is a group of 3, we will add it to 5, and the other 4 will be group, or we'll add 1 name to the group of 3 students, and we'll have another group of 5 for those individuals. The TA will take care of this. Also, tomorrow I have a noontime meeting with TA. After that, I will send an announcement with project title selection guide. And I'll give you more time to submit your proposal, because the first part of your project will be the proposal. So I'll give you more time to submit your project proposal. The other thing that I just launched before the quiz, assignment 1. It's very simple assignment. It's individual assignment. It will be checked via Turnitin. So please try to have the words your answer are original from you. Because if the copy paste will exceed 30%, there is a penalty will be applied. Because question saying 25%, I give 5% more. More than that, you will lose marks. So please be sure, guys, I hate students to lose marks. I'll be more than happy when you are getting good marks. So try your best to answer or to have original answers. And the code is yours. The text is yours once you answer the assignment. Is that clear? So we talked about class timing to, as of next week, 4 to 7 p.m. will be the regular Zoom meeting, except 2 weeks, quiz 2 week and midterm week. We'll back to regular timing. Or we can take voting a week before, so we'll make sure that everybody can attend the exam on time. I will make the exam, for example, 6 to 7. And the quiz 2, 6:30 to 7. Which is meet our regular. Oh, do you know what, guys? Our class will be 4 to 7 through the term. The midterm timing will be on November 8 from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., which is end of the class. And the quiz 2 also will be from 6:30 to 7, which is end of the class. So here we make sure that we did the assessment during our regular class timing. So there is no exception. As of now, our Zoom meeting and the classes will be conducted 4 to 7 p.m. Assignment 1, guys, is due on, I believe, October 14. I put it, or 14, I think. After 11:55 p.m., you will be considered as late. You have 2 days, 48 hours extra to submit your assignment. Each day will cost you 10% penalty. For example, you get, which is 1 mark. So for example, you get it 9 out of 10 minus 1. Sampath. Okay, thank you. So for example, you get it like 8.5 out of 10 minus 1 if you are late by 1 day, then it will be 7.5 out of 10. If you are late by 2 days, then your mark will be 8.5 minus 2, then it will be 6.5. Because 10% in assignment 1 equal 1 mark. So please to submit on time. The assignment is very simple. I give you more than enough, more than 10 days to submit your assignment, which require like 1 hour. You will solve everything. Is that clear? Questions on a quiz 1 and midterm in a group project, everything. If you have any question, please go ahead.
So, Professor, I thought the assignment is due on October 11th. So you said October 14th, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, because it's supposed to be launched like 3-4 days before. I delayed it till today because I don't want you to be mixed with the quiz. So because, you know, in the course outline, it's not exact date, it's suggested dates.
Okay, so
we can like move around it. But I will try to stick with the quiz 2 and midterm date and the project presentation dates. Those I will try my best not to change them. But with the assignment, the proposal, so we can have like a kind of window.
So it's October 14th.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was the PDF saying or owl saying. Let me check.
Was saying 11th.
13th.
No, the course outline is saying 11th. This is I know. But yeah, due on 13th of October, which is next Wednesday. It's supposed to be next Monday. I make it next Wednesday. I give you 2 days extra. Because I delayed. I supposed to launch the assignment on Friday, but I preferred to leave it till today, not to mix you with the quiz. So the deadline is at 11:55 p.m. next Wednesday. So if you go like Fatmir, if you go to assignments and you open, you will find all these dates are available there. Clear now?
Yeah, hi, Professor.
Yeah, hi.
We just need to submit the Python notebooks and not a separate report or something like that.
No report needed. You will submit like 7 Python notebooks.
Okay, thank you.
And I told you, and I give you the instruction how to name it. Let me share my screen and I'll explain. So here's the assignment. Let's go to student view. Okay, here assignment 1. If you see here, open date October, due date October 13th at 11:55 p.m. This is the deadline. If you press here, you will find like this assignment will be checked using Turnitin. Please make sure that your answers are original. Please read the instruction and fulfill the submission instructions. If you go here, you'll find assignment 1. It's handed out to you guys October 4th, due date at 11:55 Wednesday, October 13th. Total mark is 10 points. Assignment 1 will introduce you to using control flow in Python and formulating a computational solution to a problem. This assignment has 2 sections with a total of 7 parts. You should save your code as AS, assignment number, which is 1, section number 1 or 2, then part alphabet. For example, section 1, part A, you will do the Fibonacci series, then B, it will be the number of combination of an object taken R where R less than N. So you will count this, you will do a code for this. So for example, first problem in the first section, which is A, it will be named as AS1 underscore the section 1, section 1, part A. So name your file as this. So you will submit 7 files because we have 4 parts in section 1 and 3 parts in section 2. Is that clear? Okay, Robin asking who's the TA. If you go to our website, you will know who's the TA. It's in the course description. If you go here, which is the overview, here's the TA and here her email. If you have any question, you can email the TA. And she's available in the university for personal meeting if there is a need for that. But as the consultation hour are by appointment, so either you can email the TA regarding the assignment, or you can email me and we can like arrange for a Zoom meeting. And as I told you from the beginning that this assignment is individual.
Professor, is Turnitin gonna work on the Python files?
Yes.
Because okay.
Yeah, if you copy and paste your code, I can catch it. And also we have another software for code similarity check.
Yeah, because it asked that only the following file types will be accepted, and I don't think Python is included in that.
No, it will be included. Also, we have another code similarity check that can check the code similarities. So try to have your original code.
Okay, so we cannot see the score because normally we are able to see the Turnitin score after submission. So in this case, we won't be able to see it.
Yeah, once you submit and we mark it, we can return you the report showing you that this is copied from X and Y, even from box. So try to have your original code. Because
Yeah, okay,
no
Professor.
one in the world can do like a simple task exactly the same as another person. And we understand like 4 or something, those things that give similarities will not count them. But the same way of printing, the same way of designing your code, it is difficult, right? Because each one think or has his logical thinking or computational thinking different than the others. Is that clear, guys? Questions? Okay, so we'll start with the handout 4. Even if we couldn't complete it today, or you are tired, guys, so we can like have a longer class next week to explain both. But let's start with the beginning, then I'll take your opinion. To continue, I know that you studied for a quiz, so okay. So no questions. We will start with okay, everybody can see my screen. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So today we will start with what we call a decomposition, abstraction, and functions in Python. These terms are available in any programming language or in any programming topic that we can talk about decomposition, abstraction, and functions. Last time we talked about while loops versus for loop. Should know how to write both kinds of these loops. Should know when to use them. Guess and check and approximation methods. Bisection method to speed up programs. Today, we'll talk about structuring programs and hiding details. Functions, what do we mean by function? How to write a function. Functions specifications, the keywords return versus print. We'll compare between these two keywords. And what do we mean by scope in a programming? What do we mean by scope in a programming? How do we write code? So far, covered language mechanism, know how to write different files for each computation. Each file is some piece of code. Each code is a sequence of instructions. As we just was talking about assignment 1, we say that you have to submit 7 files. Why? Because we have 7 tasks. So each file is some piece of code that will solve certain problem in the assignment. Each code is a sequence of instructions or programming lines that will perform a certain task and will output the desired output if the code I wrote is correct. Problems with this approach is easy for small scale problems, same as in assignment 1. So we have like a certain task, small task. So we write it each one in a file. But if we have a very large topic to write everything in one file or in the code in a sequence of lines of codes, one after each other, this would be very messy programming file and hard to understand, hard to keep track when there is a certain error happen. How do you know the right info is supplied to the right part of code? This would be very hard. This will remind me when we start being undergraduate in 1996, when we start with first programming course that we had, which was Pascal, which is an old language. So we have to write everything in a single file. So sometimes within a semicolon or a comma, when you write like a data structure program in the second year, then you will have like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 lines of code in one file. So it was very hard to like keep track of these details. Where is the error? Where is the mistake that we did? So it was very hard for us that time. Nowadays, programming languages are always developed by the founders, and we start to use what we call it decomposition or modularity of code, which mean write small pieces that doing certain tasks, which will help us to easier track the program, understand each part separately. This would make the program more active and more easier to follow. Okay, good programming. Always keep it in your mind. More code does not mean this is a good thing or this is a good approach. Try to write the minimal number of line of codes that would perform the task 100%. Like do it in 5 lines of code. It's a way better than do it in 100 lines of codes. So writing more lines does not mean that you are a good programmer. No. It will be taken if we are evaluating you for like an interview in a company. Writing not or how to call it, like not important lines does not needed in the program. So try to write the minimal number of line of codes that do the job perfectly. That means you are a good programmer. So the first thing that you have to use normally when you are a good programmer, you have to use functions. Because each function will do a certain task and will return a certain value or values that would help me to just check that function if the output is not correct, not to check the whole program. Functions are mechanism to achieve decomposition and abstraction. What do we mean by abstraction? We'll have it like more clearly when you will be introduced at the end of the course to object-oriented programming. We'll have an example, which is the overhead projector, or the projector, or the data show. In some countries, they call it data show. A projector is a black box for us. We know what goes in and what comes out. But we don't have to know how it's performed, right? So don't know how it works. Know the interface. What is the input and what is the output? The input is a signal or an extended view of your laptop, of your TV, of your DVR, of your PlayStation, or whatever. Then you know that the output would be the same thing that you want to see in a big screen or in a wall, in a big white screen. Connect an electronic to it that it communicate with that input. Black box somehow converts image from input source to a wall, magnifying it. Abstraction idea, do not need to know how projector work to use it. I don't have to understand how it's electronically take these signals, this video, and output it through the lens in front of it to be shown in the wall. This is not my job to know how it's work. Engineers who designed it or who work in electronic field, those know how it works inside. But for me, it's not mandatory to know how it's work. Projecting large image for Olympic decomposed into separate tasks for separate projectors. Each projector will take input and produce separate output. All projectors work together to produce larger image. The decomposition idea, different devices work together to achieve an end goal. And this is also, we can see it when you like watching the news on the TV, you will find different screen also, or TV screens on the wall hanging together. All of them will form one image. So each one will take a part of the job to do this. This is the decomposition idea, also how to decompose your program to sub-tasks called functions. So functions will work as the different projector that will do the Olympic image, or in the news to make a big image. Is that clear, guys? Question till here. Apply these concepts to programming, how we will apply the decomposition concept and the abstraction concept to programming. Let's see how. Create a structure with decomposition. In a projector example, separate devices. In a programming, divide code into modules. What do we mean by modules? Each module are self-contained, used to break up the code, intended to be reusable, keep code organized, keep code coherent. So what do we mean by that? Or what we call it modularity. Modularity. So, for example, a function that finds the factorial of number. No need to write it in each program or go open the old program, copy and paste, and then change the line of code. No, I design it in a module that contains this function. Then I need to import it to my program in Python and use it, just call it. So, are self-contained, used to break up code, intend to be reusable, keep code organized, keep code coherent. Memorize these 5 points. You have to keep it in your mind. Why we use function or decomposition concept. This lecture achieved decomposition with functions. As I told you, at the end of term, by the end of this term, you will be learned also how to do decomposition and abstraction using classes, which is the object-oriented concept that we will be introduced to. Clear, guys? Suppress details with abstraction. In a projector example, instructions for how to use it are sufficient. No need to know how to build one. So the abstraction is like the instruction guide how to use it. How it's work, it's not my job. In programming, think of a piece of code as a black box. Cannot see details, do not need to see details, do not want to see details, high tedious coding details. So what do we mean by abstraction? Like I make a function or a class that will do or find the factorial of a number. So I'll use it, but I don't have to understand how it will work. I'll send to it the number and it will return me the factorial. So achieve abstraction with function specification or docstrings. That's why Python, one of the best languages that have been used today, because the huge amount of libraries that has been identified by different programmers all over the world that you just call their functions. You don't have to write that function. Is that clear? What is the benefit of having function or classes? Functions. Write a reusable piece chunk of code called functions. Functions are not run in a program until they are called or invoked in a program. So even if I have 100 functions and I call only one, that one function will work or will be executed. The other function will remain idle. So the function will not be executed until called or invoked. Okay, guys. Function characteristic. What are the characteristic of the function? Each function should have a name, should have parameters 0 or more. It could be without parameters, and it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters, depend on that function. Also, each function should have a doc string. It's optional but recommended. And each function should have a body. And each function should return something, should return a value. Why I call it? To find the area of circle, then it should be return to me the area of that circle. How to write and call or invoke function. The keyword that used to define a function is def, D-E-F, which means define a function. This one, D-E-F. Then the function name. The function name, I will use it, or I will write it, or I will choose it, but try to have the function name will be like a brief description what that function will do. This is a good habit. It is not a must. You can call it whatever you want, but as a good programming habit, the function name, the best like practice is to call it or to name it as what it's doing. Like here, def is even. This function means that it will check if the number that or the parameter sent, which is I, which means that this function will take only one parameter, or what it is called arguments. Once it's called, when you call it, you should send a certain value, and this function from its name before seeing the code will check if this number is even or not. Here, specification doc string, and this is optional. This is optional. But if you write something here and you return back to function, it would be easier for even yourself to understand why you designed this function or why you wrote this function. Here, this function will input I, a positive integer, which means should be greater than 0, returns true if I is even, otherwise false. This is the body, which is the line of codes or the executable code of that function. Print inside is even, that we are now inside this function. Return I modular 2 equal 0, and we said that equal will return either true or false. This is not an assignment statement. It is a conditional check statement. So we are checking if I modular 2 equals 0 or not. The answer should be yes or no, true or false. And here's the return is even 3. It will return either true or false. Let's try it. Let's try it. So here we will define and you see indent is important. So I'll not write thus, I will write print we are inside is even and return if I
Sorry, Professor, we are not seeing your screen.
Professor, I think the screen is frozen.
you cannot see this one.
No.
No.
What's going on? Just right here. Now you can see.
Yes.
Okay. Equal 0. You still see the code, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We execute the function. Then here I will write is even and I will send number 3. We are inside is even and the 3 is not even number, it's false. Let's call it again. We are inside is even and it's true, it's an even number. Clear?
Sir, I think the screen is frozen again.
Because the transcript thing that each time one of your colleague asking for it, it's keep freezing. Just wait a minute. Can you see now?
Yes, Professor.
Yes.
Okay. So here we define the function and it just check if the remaining or the modular equals 0, that means the number is even. If not, it's no, which means false. We call the function is even and we send it a 3, then it will give us that false, and is even with 6 and it return true, that the number is even. Clear?
Professor, can you explain what that return module means? What that means, like a return?
Return, which is when I call the function, it should return me a thing, a value, or an answer. So here we ask it to return if the number modular 2 equals 0 to return a true, if not a false. So this is the output of the function. Return will give us the output of the function in the main program where it, in the place I called it.
So can we give okay, return? That means if we got a false output in the first iteration, so we return to the next one, or how? So we, can you explain a little bit more about this function, please?
Each function should return a value, which is an answer, because the function will be outside the program I'm writing.
Okay.
This is to satisfy the decomposition concept and the abstraction concept. So each function should return a value. And when I call a function like to find the area of a circle,
Yeah.
and the function calculate the area of circle, how can I get the value that the function calculated? By return statement. So return statement will return to me the thing that I'm looking from that function. I need the function to calculate the area of rectangle. Then I will send like A equal the area of rectangle. I will call the function rectangle area. I'll send them, or I'll send the function the arguments or the parameters. Then the function will calculate the area. So how I can get the answer or the area of rectangle? By return value.
Is it similar to print?
We will compare between them.
Thank you.
The end of the class, we'll compare between those. There is a slide about this.
Okay.
Because I know there will be a confusion between print and return. But return, it is the result of calling that function. The output of that function will be how we'll get it through return statement. Keep this in your mind, and with more example, you will understand how it's going.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. Can you see the presentation now?
Yes.
Okay. So later in the code, you call the function using its name. Here, how we call the function, and values for parameters. We have one parameter here or one argument. We will send one value. Two, we'll send two. More. No argument, we will not send any argument. We'll keep it empty parentheses. So in the function body, here we are running some command. Return is a keyword that will send me the answer of the code evaluated in that function. Here, expression to evaluate and return. The return could be a value from the function body or more, or I can make a return after return, I can give an expression. The result of that expression will be the answer of return. Okay. Variable scope. What do we mean by variable scope? Variable scope, formal parameter gets bound to the value of actual parameter when function is called. We'll see now how. In new scope frame environment created when enter a function. Scope is mapping of name.
Professor,
yes?
we can't see the slides.
The guy who asked for transcript, could you stop it, please? Every class, it's making us a problems. Can you see now? Hello?
Nothing, Professor.
I'm seeing a blank page.
Okay. Can you see now, guys?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. Okay, so scope is mapping of names to objects. For example, here we are in the main program. Now, consider that we are in the main program and the function is sub-program. Consider these concepts in order to understand the idea of scope. So in the main program, we have x equal 3, z equal f of x. Then I call the function called f, and I send it the actual
करना
parameter.
पड़ेगा how to use Docker.
Sorry? Can you repeat again? Hello? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
The last question, what it was? Because I couldn't hear it very well. Your mic is... Is there any question till here? Okay, I'll continue. So, x here, we call it the actual parameter. We are in the main program. Once I call this function, I'll move to another scope and I'll be in the local scope of that function. And I'm outside the scope of the main program. So once I enter it, here is the formal parameter, x equal x plus 1, print in f of x equal x, which is 3 plus 1 will be 4, return x, and this 4 will be assigned to the z. Here we add 1 to the x, right? If I write here print x, it will not be printed because I'm outside. X is changed in the outside of the program scope. It was in local scope of the function. So x here is different than x in the main program. Here, the main program code, we initialize a variable x, make a function called x, assign return function to variable z. X in here, it will be local variable to this function. X here is a global variable to program. Questions?
So, question, this function, is it going to be this function definition? This is going to remain same in every program that we will be using?
Yeah, if you include that function in your program, or you put it in a module file and you include that module file in your program, so it will be the same. Yes.
So pretty much it's just like a function formula that we have to use, and the second part is the body of the actual values of the
Yes.
that they will be returned. They will be used to that function, and they can return the results.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. To be more clear about this, so we call it the global scope and function scope. The main program, we call it a global scope. And the function, we'll call it F scope. So here we have F, some code, X equal 3, and Z, we don't know the value of it yet. In F scope, we send it X here, taking the value of 3. Now we add to X value of 4. You see here, the original X is not changed because it's in different scope. Then it will return 4. And Z will be 4, and X, the original X, will remain 3. This is what we mean by global scope and function scope. Questions still here? Is that clear, guys?
So this Z equal function X. So that became 4 because X was substituted with X plus 1. Is that
Yeah.
right?
X here is different. This is what I mean. X here is different than the X here. So here we said Z, the value of Z will be the returned value from function, and we send it the value of X in the global program or the main program. Here it's receive X as a local variable to the function. X is X plus 1, then return the new value of X and assign it to Z. So X here is different than the X in here. Here it's local to the function, not the X of the program, of the main program. That's why we have a global scope in the main program and a local scope in the function. And even if we have the same names, that's why we use X. We can use Y, D, F, whatever you want. But why we call it X? To make sure that the student differentiate that once the variable in different scope, it will not affect the variable in another scope. Is that clear? Questions? Okay, there is a warning. I want everybody to know about it if there is no return statement. If we don't have a return statement, Python will return the value none. So this represents the absence of value. Sometimes we have to call a function to do certain thing, and I don't need the function to return a certain value to the program. But there is a reason to do this. So if there is no return statement, the Python will return the value none to the main program, then it will continue to the next line of code in the main program. Now, for your colleague question, we have a slide, return versus print. What is the differences? Return only has a meaning inside the function. We cannot put a return inside the main program, or if there is no function defined. Only one return executed inside the function. The function could not return or has multiple return statement. It could have, but with the break or exit of the function, there are another codes. But the function will execute only one return statement. If there is other return statement, will not be executed. So at the or following to that, code inside the function, but after return are not executed. Even after return statement, if I wrote like 100 line of codes, it will not be executed, which means return this value and exit the function. This is the job of return. Return has a value associated with it, given to the function caller. The instruction or the line of code who called the function will get that return value. No other parts of the program will get the return value. Print can be used outside of function. We can print anywhere in the program, can execute many print statements inside the function or inside the main program. Code inside the function can be executed after a print statement. I have a print statement. After the print, the code will be executed. Has a value associated with it, output it to that console. So print, just print to the console. But it couldn't change a value or anything. In the function. Is that clear? Okay. Guys, would you like to stop here or you would like to continue? Okay, guys. Answer, don't be shy. Because I know you study for the quiz, you were in the quiz. So here we'll talk about functions and arguments. We can leave it till next class. We still have 10 slides, so we can cover them next class and continue.
Depends on the assignment, Professor. Will we need the functions in the assignment?
Of course, no. The assignment is covering week 1, 2, and 3 only.
Okay. I think we can stop.
Yeah. So guys, on chat, let's vote. Stop or continue? Here, your colleague, give it by voice. Stop. Okay. Okay, so we'll stop here today. See you next week at 4 p.m. on Monday. And we will continue at slide 21. Have a good
Professor,
night. Yes.
Next week is Thanksgiving. Is it off or will we have class?
Next week, let's see the syllabus. Yeah, I think the Thanksgiving, I consider it in my schedule.
Okay.
Let's go to our I believe we put it as off day, right? Week 1, week 2, week. Yeah. Yeah. Next week is Thanksgiving. So see you guys on October 18th at 4 p.m. And happy Thanksgiving to all, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. And guys, within the course or the next weeks, we will start using function a lot. So all of the cases or all of the question in your mind, I'm sure it should be answered. See you. You can leave now, guys. Have a good night and happy Thanksgiving. And if you have a question, stay. You can ask. But for those who don't have a question, you can leave and have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving. See you October 18th.
Professor,
Yes.
if we can we use functions in the assignment, in assignment 1?
I answered your question just a few statements ago. I told you we'll start using function a lot. All questions in your mind,
Need to?
all your questions in mind, like how to use it in a assignment, how to use it in like if a statement, how to use these things, or is this possible or not? We will take it one by one. So next week and the weeks after, you will find a lot of examples that will answer your question. And the best answer always, try it yourself in a line of code. Like make f of x equal x plus 1. Then in the main program, write a equal 1, b equal 2, x equal a and b, then d equal a plus f of x, and see how it will work.
Okay, thank you.
Would you like to show you an example in Jupyter just right now to guide you how to start with this and to how to try these ideas in your mind?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, like def f, and let's take x. Like b equal x times the 3, and return b. Here a equal 5, b equal 6, and here b here in the main program will be different than the b here again. Okay, then z equal a plus b, and g equal z plus f of z. Then here print what do you think the answer will be? Okay, we see 22, 44. What do you think? Z equal A plus B. Here the main program that will be executed. So 5 plus 6 is 11. So 11 plus f of 11. 11 here will be received as x, then it will be times 3, which means 11 plus 33, which is 44. So we can call it an assignment statement, yes. But next time, try to answer yourself by trying a line of code. Is that clear now? How to answer your question by using a line of code? Thank you for those who answer 44. Okay, guys. Anybody has any other questions? If you don't have, you can leave.
Hi, Professor.
Hi, Izzy.
Hi, I have a question about the assignment. So here's the assignment wants us to generate the Fibonacci SEM, right? So you mentioned that you want the nth result. So do we have to just define a function to calculate the sum, or we need to specify which number of the n?
Yes.
So we will just put the input in the function, right?
Yeah, but you have to write your own function. Don't use the ready-made functions.
Yeah. So so there will be the input n. So
yeah,
we
for
can
example,
decide
the
which...
nth element. So with the size n, you have to decide n. Then you will calculate the summation of Fibonacci sequence for the nth element.
Yeah, so we decide our... So if we run the function, run the program, we can input our n, just like let's say n is 6, we input a 6, and
Yes.
we will use the
Yeah,
function.
then you will calculate it for 6 element.
Yeah.
Then if we
Same
input
as the
11,
question
we'll
2.
calculate it for 11th element.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor.
You are welcome. Questions? Any other questions, guys? Or shall I end the meeting? Okay, seems there is no questions. I'll end the meeting in 30 seconds. So if you don't have a question, please leave.
Hi, Professor. My name is Jasleen.
Yes.
Sorry for that. I gave quiz today, but I was not online. So I haven't seen your email. So that's why the problem. I just started the quiz when it loaded. I'm sorry for that. It won't happen again.
I sent 2 emails. I mentioned this at the beginning of the class, Jasleen.
Yes, Professor, but I didn't see your email because I was studying.
I sent 2 emails to join the quiz via Zoom. I give the instruction last class. So if you watch the video, you will see that you have to be in Zoom and your camera on. And also it's mentioned the course outlined.
Sorry, Professor. It
I
won't be.
understand. So this time I forgive the student, but in the midterm and the quiz 2 and project presentation dates,
Yes,
if this happen and your camera is not on and you don't join the Zoom, you will not be considered, and you're sorry to tell you, because this is the policy. you will be given 0 on that task. And you know, be careful. I would like each student to get the highest possible mark that he can get.
Okay, okay, Professor.
So this time I'll give I'll close my eyes on this, what's happening today, but be careful the next time, please.
Sure, Professor. It won't be happening.
No worries. Good luck.
Thank you, Professor.
You are welcome. Okay, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a good night. See you all October 18th. Bye for now.